Using them, I can very simply and quickly determine the light distribution from round to oval, elliptical or modeled in its extent and direction. And then I adjust the intensity in the finest nuance from 0 to 100 with precise shadow profiles, without any problems regarding color temperature. Now, because the lights do not mix into the room, or only do so as I want them to, and because it never looks as if a lamp is shining a light on something, I have a quality of light with a new clarity and brilliancy. Like on a day with a strong Veltemi, soft but with punch. Transparent images, no mixing up, no smearings of light. And I have happy active lighting electricians because they are busy taking part in the creative process of lighting. And there is no secret in all this, it's very simple. It is something derived from natural observation. Observing nature was always a good thing. So even if you subtract the extent of my infatuation with this light from my enthusiasm for it, there will still remain plenty of quality. To be quite clear about the matter, of course the CLS cannot do everything, and it's not a religion. There are applications, particularly in the area of effects, where the system makes no sense. So I would certainly not want to use it to light one of those game shows or a film from Tarantino, because he lives from effects. But they are already tried and tested tools for these situations. And naturally, I also use conventional equipment when it makes sense for me, but I almost never need it. And I hope you believe me when I say that I'm no fundamentalist. That would be the last thing I would want to be. So I would like next to illustrate the principle of CLS with some pictures. And anyone who has experience will easily be able to see the possibilities of variations, but first resulting from the simple qualities. So I hope I was not taking too much, not tiring you too much with that theoretical things, but I have to say it before I show you how I use it. It was okay for you not to?
Very helpful. Very good. Very good.
It's difficult for me to judge that because I only can see silent faces. Oops. I don't want to speak about light or cinematography without giving a half minute to the first fixed photograph that we know. That is the negative. And this is the famous from the Niepce brothers, 1826 or 7, is not completely clear. 8 hours exposure time. That's why the sun is on each side. It's a little feeling like a Catholic goes to the Pope. But nice. Then we are here in 69, I think. It looks much older, the photo, than it was. From Ryan's daughter, the film. And I show it because it's a kind of marking, it shows a marking situation. How sometimes I feel how we still use that sign for shooting a film. Camera and lamps are always connected. Film is that. Or a nice little highlight. And it was only necessary because the material was, the negatives were so slow that any kind of shadow was dark right away. So you needed, on a full sunny day, lamps, lamps, lamps. And if you look today on a normal TV set, it doesn't look really different, if you know what I mean. And if you go in the rental houses, I mentioned already my feelings. So now we come to that lamp, to the heart of the system, which is a parallel beamer. You can see there right away. By the way, we did that with students in Vienna. All the light she has comes out from that beam. It went up, the reflector back from this side, the small one for the face when she went up, and even the backlight, the trim light if you want to, was deviated up here and coming back there. And this is what I call a slim set. It's a nice picture because it gives an idea, but it's not, it doesn't look always like that, I must confess, but it gives an idea. And this is the answer on this photo, no, on this one. It was my gaffer who did, he was obliged to work with conventional equipment, like here, and then he just showed them how it could be different, and we did that. And it's, yeah, and that the basic is very simple. It's a parabol reflector, which is not new. Any searchlight uses that. The military used it to find the enemy planes in the sky. That means you can direct parallel beams. You have some dark rings here to avoid glare. And that was still at the beginning because we find out that a single-ended lamp was not good because the white porcelain of the socket makes too much, produces too much stray light. So this is the lamp how it is now today in the flight case, and this is Jacob Ballinger, my gaffer. He was studying camera as well, so it's a very fine partner. We have some little nice details like a disc brake, so you never need force to handle the lamp, except that it's heavy. Then you can easily take away the UV protection glass to clean. This is the head, because you have to balance all three axes, not only the focus point, but even the axis, to have it very precise, otherwise you lose the homogeneous light circle. This is now the double-ended standard HMI 1200 watt. There you have absolutely no stray light, no dirty light, which is very often disturbing in the studio. You don't need barn doors or anything because it's no stray light at all. And then you have, in about 5 meters, which is a kind of average distance to the reflectors, 150,000 lux, and you have all that 1 meter diameter as your light source. It's like a river where you come in with a pot to take out water, and we come in with the reflectors to deviate or to use the light from that beam. It's so clean that you can mix colors. First you can put the gauge direct on the lamp because it's not really it becomes warm but not hot. You can use the gauge direct on the lamp. That is again one tripod less and one frame less. And you could even mix it in because it doesn't mix up. You can use the orange side, the warm side and the cool side from one and the same source. Like that you can even change from day to artificial light or vice versa, just with changing one filter. Here is the box with the different reflectors. This is the set from 10 to 20 centimeter and 30 to 30. This is the small set. And instead of giving names, we had marking them with colors because you have to communicate, give me the blue one or something like that. And you learn it very fast. And each of that different surfaces has a special calculated and controlled quality. And these are the small ones. Some are found in the field of architecture, some they are specially calculated by the light laboratory to achieve certain qualities. And the total reflection is really very, very high. The softest, this one of it I show them. This is the hard one we use very rarely for direct lighting. It makes not much sense, but to deviate the light to another reflector. And it needs a little structure, otherwise you project the lamp next. It's like a mirror. So it's 98% or something, so it's really, if it's not scratched and dirty. This is the blue one, the classical middle soft. The white one, very soft, but now you can use, if you make multiple reflections, and this one has still 84%. You lose only, I don't know, 15, 17%. So it's not a big thing to use it double, and then you have the double soft effect. It adds up the quality from each single reflector. The soft one very fine for fill light, or to mix it, combine it with another one. This is the green one who creates a light band, which is very, very useful very often. You will see that. The yellow one, which makes a scattered light distribution, to integrate it in a given light situation. You don't see the corners from the reflector or anything like that. This makes a very thin light band and more for effects, but very useful too. And then it's the 1-to-1 meter holder. You can use as usual on both sides. There are magnets in the center because it has to be stable. All the reflectors have to be very stable. Otherwise, if they start to fluttering or do shaking, the whole set starts to move with the light. A very simple grip to link it to the normal magic arms or whatever you have. A magnet holder for the bigger ones. This will be the new one, if I find another investor. And this is, for example, was invented by MacGyver, how to handle the 1 meter to 1 meter. And it's completely simple and easy done, and it works very well. Very cheap and very precise. We were just creating that side holder you see there. There at the edge. So now I just want to demonstrate the quality, different qualities of each surface. And to do that, we use one laser beam and redirected it, which is not obligatory. You can use it direct with the reflectors, just to demonstrate the way of the light. You deviate it to the real reflector which I used for the light. And everything you see there comes from this beam. Keep it in mind, we have only that as a light source. That was the setup for the test. So now it comes from, this is 30-30. It depends a little, of course, from the size and from the distance. That's normally, that we all know, that's the same rules. And here you see just from black to black what happens. There it stays similar, but here it whites up a little the laser to avoid that mirror effect.